Good morning everybody. I'm going to give you today a demo of XLIFF. XLIFF is a localization tool that was developed in the CNGL. The authors are LuciaMorado, Sean Mooney, Chris Sexton and Dimitri Anastasio, and this demo belongs to the VAL localization workflow group. XLIFF is a localization tool that was developed to allow the reuse of data and metadata kept in XLIFF files. It works by comparing previously localized XLIFF files with an unlocalized file, and it leverages the data and metadata to it. We have designed an XML format that can contain several XLIFF files in an organized way and that can be read by our tool. We have called it the Localization Memory Container, or LMC. And now I'm going to give you the actual demo with the actual tool. So here we have our tool, and I'm going to run a wizard to go through the several steps of the tool. The first thing we have to do is to choose the XLIFF file that we want to translate or to localize. We have it here in an XLIFF format. We click on Next and we choose the LMC. Click on Next and we have two options. Either we compare against the whole LMC or we filter the LMC, and we have two filters. First, this is the general one, and we can filter by file name, domain, target or source language, by format or by date. And we have a more advanced filter where we can filter by tool options, by the version of XLIFF, by the phase options, or also translation units. In our case, we are going just to filter it by the format, and if you see here, this is the whole LMC, and it contains 6 XLIFF already localized files, and we're going to say that we want only the files that were previously in an XML format. So if we click on Apply, if you see here, instead of having the 6 files, we are only having one. We click on OK, and we choose the fuzzy matching percentage, and it's going to be, for this case, 65%. We click on Next, and we save it. And if you see here, we have the enriched file. In this case, for example, we have the translation unit with the source that was Localization Research Center, and we have introduced what we call the altrans, that is an element in the XLIFF specification, and on it we have the source in English and the target in Spanish. And we also have here all the metadata that we have introduced. I'm going to show you in the presentation with more detail. So here we have one example of a translation unit. Here we have the original one, and there you can only see the source language and its keynote test. And if you see here, this is the same translation unit after we put it through our tool. Here we have all the data and metadata that we have introduced. This is the metadata that you can normally introduce with a normal tool, and this is the metadata that we have introduced with our tool. And now we are going to do the last part of our demo. We are going to save our file. We are going to call it enrich demo with the XLIFF extension. I'm going to save it, and we are going to open our Swordfish, that is a translation tool. It is developed by Max Programs, and we are going to open our file here. And if you see here, this is the translation editor. go to the second one, to the second translation unit, you can see here the translation suggestion that we have introduced with our tool. And if we click on here, match properties, we can have all the metadata that we have introduced. You can see here the date, the name of the original file, the source language, the state, the target language, etc. So this is the end of our demo. As you can see, we went from an unlocalized file to an enriched file that translators can work with, and they will not only have the translation suggestion, but more metadata that can help them to do a better job. And finally, I want to thank you all for your attention. And if you have any doubt, or if you want to contact me, you can do it on my email address, that is lucia.morado@ul.ie. Thank you very much.